The Ravens are known for their unstoppable defense. But today we're going to talk about something that also left a lasting mark on the franchise's history. The greatest offensive players ever to wear the Baltimore jersey. These are names that didn't just play the game. They changed it, turning the Ravens' offense into a true force of excitement. Have you ever stopped to think about who were the real game changers when the defense had done all it could? I'm going to tell you everything now. And trust me, some of these names will surprise you. So stick with me until the end, because you won't want to miss a single detail or the adrenaline-packed stories these legends created on the field. Ready? Go Ravens! Imagine starting a story and getting it absolutely right from the very beginning. That's exactly what the Ravens did in 1996 during their very first NFL draft when they selected Jonathan Ogden, a massive man, nearly 7 feet tall and over 330 pounds, who moved like a basketball player. He wasn't just big, he was smart, technical, and absolutely dominant. That pick made one thing clear. Baltimore was ready to build something different. Ogden played left tackle, a position many fans don't even notice, but one of the most crucial on the field. You know, when the quarterback drops back to throw, he needs to trust someone to protect his blind side. That someone was Ogden, and he did it better than almost anyone in history. For 12 years, he was a wall of trust holding the offense together, especially when things got tough. Even though he never scored touchdowns, Ogden influenced the offense like a silent quarterback. He opened up running lanes, shoved defenders aside with ease, and made the hardest tasks look simple. The most incredible part? He did it all with an almost eerie calm. He rarely lost his composure, even in the most intense moments of the game. And the numbers back it up. He was selected to 11 Pro Bowls and named to several All-Pro teams. But more than awards, he symbolized the foundation of the Ravens' identity. While other teams chased flashy offensive stars, Baltimore started with the basics. Protect the guy who makes the offense go. Ogden was the blueprint for the tough, physical, disciplined style that became the franchise's trademark. When Ogden retired in 2007, it left a hole, like removing the pillar from a temple. But he had already done more than enough to earn his place in history. In 2013, he received the ultimate honor, induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He became the first Raven ever to receive that recognition, from first overall pick to eternal legend. To this day, when a Ravens fan talks about how the offensive line should play, Ogden's name always comes up. He set the standard. It's like every lineman who wears that jersey has to, at the very least, try to match what he was. No exaggeration. Without Ogden, the Ravens might never have built the solid foundation that led to so many glorious moments. And it's exactly one of those moments we're about to dive into, when a running back used the lanes created by that line to make history with the ball in his hands. If you love watching a player run with the ball like nothing can stop him, then you have to remember Jamal Lewis. He was the definition of power. When he got the ball, it was like a freight train had been unleashed on the field, and the opposing defense was just something in his way. It wasn't just about speed or strength. It was how he treated every carry like it was his last. With him on the field, the Ravens' offense became heavy, physical, and completely relentless. Lewis arrived in Baltimore in 2000, and in his rookie year, helped lead the team to victory in Super Bowl 35. That was no accident. He was already proving to be special, with explosive runs that shredded defenses. If he saw a gap, no one could catch him. And even when there wasn't a gap, he created one. It was like he said, if the line opens 2 yards, I'll turn into 10. But 2003 was when Jamal Lewis truly carved his name into NFL history. That year, he rushed for 2,066 yards, the third highest single-season total in league history. That number is insane. To put it in perspective, that's more than some entire teams manage in a season. And he did it with defenses knowing exactly what was coming. There was a game against the Cleveland Browns where he ran for 295 yards. In one game, it was total destruction. The defense knew it was going to be a Jamal Lewis run, but it didn't matter. He broke tackles, ran over people, and picked up extra yards after contact. It was like he challenged every defender, try to stop me, and none of them could. But it wasn't just about brute force. It was consistency, too. Lewis was reliable. He could be counted on in tough situations. Third and longs, crucial drives, cold weather battles. He was the heart of the offense. A guy who put the team on his back, no complaints, no drama. He just ran. And he did it better than almost anyone in the league's history, even with injuries and ups and downs later in his career. What he delivered during his prime was more than enough to earn his place in Ravens history. Jamal Lewis wasn't just a great running back. He was a symbol of how Baltimore's offense could be brutal, straightforward, unforgiving, and still absolutely brilliant. One of the key players who shaped the team's identity in the 2000s. And when we talk about offensive identity, we can't forget the guy who changed everything. Not just with his arm, but with his legs too. A player who turned Baltimore into a highlight reel. And you, do you remember the impact Jamal Lewis had on the Ravens offense so early in his career? Drop a comment if you also saw how he transformed the team's playing style with sheer power and presence. Or if you know another player who carried an offense from such a young age, let's talk about it. If there's one player who came in and changed everything we knew about the Ravens offense, it's Lamar Jackson. When he was drafted in 2018, a lot of people had doubts. They said he wasn't a traditional quarterback, that he wouldn't last playing like that. But it didn't take long for Lamar to respond the best way possible. On the field, with wins, with unbelievable numbers, and with plays that left us breathless. Lamar didn't just bring results. He brought a new way of thinking about football in Baltimore. The Ravens offense, long known for its toughness and ground-and-pound style, became a machine of creativity. With him, every snap was a mystery. Is it going to run? Pass? Break 3 tackles and make a play nobody else could? He was impossible to predict. And that terrified defenses just as much as it thrilled the fans. In 2019, everything became even clearer. Lamar had one of the most spectacular seasons in NFL history and was named unanimous MVP. No one had done that since Tom Brady. He rushed for over 1,200 yards and threw 36 touchdowns. It was like watching 2 elite players in one, a top-tier quarterback and a dynamic running back in the same body. And he did all that at just 22 years old. But beyond the numbers, it was about confidence. Lamar came in as the youngest guy in the room and quickly became the natural leader. The team followed his rhythm. When he smiled, the whole locker room lit up. When he got serious, everyone listened. He brought charisma, energy, and identity. A different kind of leadership. Light but powerful. The kind that inspires not only teammates, but an entire city. With Lamar, the Ravens started winning games they used to let slip. They began dominating games with a style that was uniquely theirs. John Harbaugh adapted the system. The coaches embraced Lamar's rare talent, and the team transformed around him. It wasn't just a hot streak. It was a revolution. He proved you can win your way, break the mold, and still dominate. And the craziest part? Even after years of greatness, it still feels like Lamar has more to show. Every season is another chance to witness something that's never been done before. Lamar isn't just a star. He's a living spectacle. And every time he takes the field, Ravens fans know something magical could happen. Before Lamar lit it up, though, there was another name who led the offense with authority and won over fans with explosive runs and clutch decisions. A player who divided opinions but was instrumental in bringing home the franchise's second Lombardi trophy. If you followed the Ravens between 2008 and 2013, you definitely remember the impact Ray Rice had on the offense. He was short, but don't be fooled. Rice had such a solid center of gravity it felt impossible to bring him down. Strong, agile, and smart, he ran the ball, caught passes, and blocked with the same intensity. On a team known for defense, Rice gave life to the offense during years when it was still searching for its identity. Rice quickly became the starter and proved he could handle the job. From 2009 to 2012, he rushed for over 1,100 yards in every season. And it wasn't just about running. He caught passes like a wide receiver. With Joe Flacco still young and developing as a quarterback, Rice became the perfect safety valve. The kind of player who kept the offense moving even when everything else stalled. But his career wasn't just about stats. Rice created moments that are forever etched in Ravens history. None more iconic than the 4th and 29 play against the San Diego Chargers. It was 4th down, 29 yards to go. It looked impossible. But Rice caught the short pass, broke tackles, weaved through defenders, and kept pushing forward. And he made it. That play became a symbol of resilience, effort, and grit. Everything the Ravens stand for. Rice was also a quiet leader. He wasn't the loudest voice, but everyone trusted him. On the field, he brought a sense of security. You could see it in his teammates' eyes. When the game got tough, they believed in putting the ball in his hands. And in the playoffs, he elevated his game even more. He had key performances during the Ravens' run to Super Bowl 47. In the 2012 championship run, Rice was a central piece. He ran with consistency, opened up play-action opportunities, and gave Flacco the balance he needed to lead the offense. Even with the quarterback's brilliance during that historic run, no one forgets that without Rice, that Super Bowl run would have been much tougher. He was the engine that kept everything going. Unfortunately, Ray Rice's career ended abruptly and tragically off the field. But when you focus solely on what he did between the lines, it's undeniable he was one of the best running backs in Ravens history, a player who carried the offense on his back for years and gave fans countless reasons to believe. And speaking of trust, every great running back needs a reliable target to share the pressure in tough moments. And Baltimore had exactly that in a wide receiver who made history through sheer consistency. We're heading into the 5th topic, but before we continue, I notice you haven't hit that like button yet. That's super important to help YouTube keep recommending this content to you. It's free and it helps a lot. So go ahead and hit that like button now. Let's keep going. In a team known more for its physicality than finesse, finding a wide receiver who was reliable, smart, and productive was like striking gold. And that's exactly what the Ravens found in Derrick Mason. He wasn't the fastest or the tallest, but what he brought to the field went far beyond what stats alone could show. He was the calm in the chaos, the guy quarterbacks always look for when things got tough. Mason arrived in Baltimore in 2005, during a time when the offense was still trying to establish itself. The defense was legendary, but the other side of the ball needed someone who commanded respect. That's when Mason stepped in. His chemistry with the quarterbacks, especially Joe Flacco later on, was instant. He knew exactly where to be, how to get open, and most importantly, how to secure the ball in critical moments. And it wasn't just about efficiency. Mason played with heart. You could see in his eyes how badly he wanted to win. When he made a big catch, he celebrated, shouted, rallied the team. He was the kind of player who elevated everyone around him without needing the spotlight. He took on responsibility, wanted the ball on third downs, in game-winning drives, in pressure moments. And he delivered. During his 6 years with the Ravens, Mason was the team's top receiving option in nearly every season. He surpassed 1,000 receiving yards in 4 of them and left as the franchise leader in receptions and receiving yards at that time. And even as a veteran, he never slowed down. He trained hard, took care of his body, and showed the younger players what it meant to build a lasting career in the NFL. More than just talent, Mason brought stability. While other receivers came and went, he stayed. And that made all the difference in a team that struggled for years to find consistent pieces in the passing game. He became the foundation of an offensive unit that needed both technical reliability and mental toughness to grow. Ravens fans respected Derrick Mason. He may not have had the spotlight that some of the league's other top receivers enjoyed, but in Baltimore, he was essential. Every catch reminded fans that even in a team built on grit and dominant defense, there was room for precision, finesse, and the art of a well-executed passing game. And if Mason brought trust in the passing game, the next name brought strength and security at a position that's always been vital in Baltimore. A tight end who became a long-time cornerstone and the key link between quarterback and end zone. When you think of a tight end who became the key to the Ravens' offensive success, it's impossible not to think of Todd Heap. He was a guy who could do a little bit of everything: run short and deep routes, deliver powerful blocks, and, of course, be that reliable target in the red zone where touchdowns are made. Heap wasn't just another tight end. For years, he was the perfect bridge between Baltimore's running and passing games. Arriving in 2001, Heap quickly became a centerpiece of the Ravens' offense. In a team where the run game reigned supreme and the quarterback position lacked consistency, Heap emerged as the offensive safety valve. When the team needed a big play on third down or deep in enemy territory, it was Heap who came through. He gave quarterbacks peace of mind, knowing that if the play was tough, Heap would be there to make the catch. Heap was a big, sure-handed target. In the early 2000s, when Baltimore's passing game often played second fiddle, he was one of the main reasons the offense had any balance at all. Not only was he reliable in catching the ball, he was also smart in his positioning, helping the team advance with quick receptions or crucial blocks that opened lanes for the ground game. His ability to stay productive and available kept him relevant for years. Even as injuries came and went, Heap remained the kind of tight end you could count on, a pillar in the offense, capable of shifting the game's momentum with a clutch catch or a game-breaking block. And of course, his numbers speak for themselves. Heap is the all-time leader in receptions and touchdowns by a tight end in Ravens history. Over his 9 seasons in Baltimore, he became an indispensable name. Some of the fans trusted to deliver in pressure moments. He brought consistency to the offense, and his chemistry with quarterbacks, especially Joe Flacco, led to many memorable plays, particularly in playoff seasons. Even after he left, Todd Heap's impact could still be felt. The Ravens have continued to search for a tight end who can match his production and leadership. He's the kind of player who defines what it means to be essential to a team's success. But before Heap was owning the middle of the field, there was a quarterback who shot the lead by dominating the playoffs and delivering Baltimore its long-awaited championship. A name forever etched in franchise history. And if you made it this far, drop a Todd Heap, Ravens legend, in the comments, so I'll know you recognize the impact he had on this offense and the legacy he built in Baltimore. Let's keep going. When it comes to Joe Flacco, it's impossible not to think about how decisively he etched his name into Baltimore's history. He wasn't the flashiest quarterback, not known for mobility or highlight reel improvisation. No, Joe Flacco was the opposite. The definition of a cold, calculated, and above all, reliable QB. With Flacco under center, the Ravens found stability they had long been missing, and, crucially, returned to the top. Flacco was drafted in 2008, and from his rookie year, he showed he had what it took to lead. What he brought was a rare ability to perform at his best in the most critical moments. It's no surprise his nickname, Joe Cool, caught on quickly. He looked unshakable, capable of guiding the team through any scenario, no matter the pressure. Even in that first season, taking the Ravens to playoffs, it was clear this quarterback didn't back down. In 2012, when the team needed a leader the most, Flacco became the hero of the story. He didn't just lead the Ravens to Super Bowl 47. He delivered one of the most remarkable playoff runs by any quarterback in history. Over the course of those games, he threw 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, a feat few have matched. The cherry on top was the Super Bowl itself, where he earned MVP honors after throwing 3 touchdowns and leading Baltimore to a historic win over the 49ers. But Flacco wasn't just a quarterback with flashes of brilliance. He was the one who finally gave the franchise the passing game stability it had always lacked. Across his 11 seasons with the Ravens, Flacco became the team's all-time leader in passing yards, touchdowns, and wins as a quarterback. He kept the Ravens competitive amid their signature defensive intensity and physical style. His poise under pressure was a cornerstone of Baltimore's sustained success. Over the years, Flacco showed he could evolve. Early in his career, he played a more conservative style, controlling the game, protecting possession. But as time went on, he became more aggressive, maximizing the weapons around him, like Torrey Smith and Antoine Bolden. He knew when to take risks and when to play it safe, making him incredibly effective in any situation. And beyond the field, Flacco embodied Baltimore's mentality, a player who never backed down from adversity, who thrived under pressure, and who always had winning as his ultimate goal. He was, without a doubt, the quarterback who delivered the franchise's greatest triumph, and that guarantees him a permanent place in the hearts of every Ravens fan. So, Ravens fans, what did you think of this journey through the greatest offensive names in franchise history? Each one of these players left an immortal legacy in Baltimore, and it's impossible to talk about the team's history without remembering the incredible plays and unforgettable moments they created. Whether it's Lamar Jackson breaking barriers or Joe Flacco leading the team to Super Bowl glory, each one helped shape this franchise into a powerhouse. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these players left the biggest mark on your memory? What offensive moment will you never forget? Drop in the comments. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like and share this with everyone who loves the Ravens.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.